Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and I would like to welcome you to the client section of the course. Now, I want you to understand up front that this is by no means meant to be exhaustive. There are entire courses that you can purchase on clients as well as, well, it's a whole industry, obviously, on client getting. So this is not meant to be exhaustive, but what I've done is I have brought together some things that I know will be beneficial to you. Most of them pertain specifically to client SEO businesses and clients. So again, I hope that this is very helpful to you. It's my firm intention that you are able to utilize techniques in this section to get the right kinds of clients and keep them. Okay, so all of these, there's 4 sections, and the purpose or the goal of all 4 of them combined is for you to get the right kinds of clients and keep them long term. All right, so in this video, I'm just going to give you a very short overview of what is included in this section. So the first section is going to be about picking and onboarding clients. So basically, it's going to talk about, I'm going to have a video that talks about the type of client that you're looking for, kind of what some of the characteristics are of a good SEO client. And then I'm going to talk about onboarding. And how we do that. And so there's that has to do with pre-qualifying as well. All right, so that's going to be in the first section. The second section is going to be about prospecting, and prospecting is finding clients. All right, so that's probably what most of you are looking forward to in the client section. So I'm going to have a number of videos in here about various methods to get clients, to find leads for your SEO business. The third section is going to be about pricing / closing. That is going to have some videos that show a couple of different methods to price your clients based on a couple of different factors, and then some techniques, some closing techniques for that to get them to sign on the line, right? And so the last part is a very short part on client retention, and it talks about a couple of strategies. There's 2 videos, I believe, that are going to be in there that talk about a couple of strategies that you can use initially to keep your clients kind of in the early portion of your relationship, and then some things that you can do on long-term basis to keep your clients happy and paying. So again, I just meant for this to be a short introduction, but that is the sections that we're going to be covering. I hope you find lots of value in this section. I hope, again, that you are able to find the right kind of clients and to keep them long term. Now, just like every other section in this course, this section will be seeded with some initial videos, and as the course progresses, I will be adding more and more and updating if necessary. So thanks again for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and in this section, what I'd like to talk with you about very briefly is your ideal client. Okay, so your ideal client is going to vary somewhat based upon where you're at in your SEO business. Okay, so in the beginning, when you're just growing your business and growing your brand, you may want to go after people who are on the lower end, of the pay scale, and even maybe do some work, for free, for testimonies or proof. Okay, so when we're starting off, we kind of got a little bit of a different playing field than what we're wanting, fairly quickly. Okay, so and of course, the more progressed you are in your business, just like any business in any craft, the more money you can command, and the more you can pick and choose who you're going to work with. Okay, one of the reasons that I love being an SEO is that I work for myself, and I have the ability to hire and fire my clients at will. Okay, and to be honest with you, it's one of my favorite things about what I do for a living, even more so than working from home and being lazy. I love the fact that I get to choose who I work with. Okay, and as an SEO, you get that option as well. All right, so a couple of things that you definitely want to look for. All right, So as we've covered or we're going to cover, depending on when you're listening to this video in the course, one of the best things, one of the best factors that we can use to determine who is going to be a client that we're going to want is going to be based on someone who A, already understands the value of online marketing, and B, is already paying for it, okay? So we're going to talk about that rationale more in some other training in the course, so I'm not going to expand upon it here. But those are two things that you definitely want to look for, because one of the hardest things to get is that initial buy-in from the decision maker about SEO. It's one of the toughest barriers that you have to overcome when you're trying to get new clients, okay? Because some people just don't understand what online marketing is all about. This is especially true, if you're talking about an older demographic, okay? So, the younger demographic, the more likely they're going to understand how important online marketing is, and the fact that people, hardly ever go to the yellow pages anymore, right? Google is basically the new yellow pages, okay? So, that's the first thing. The first client that we want, and this is really, again, so we can convert them into, or the first prospect that we want that we can convert into clients is going to be someone who's already paying for online marketing and understands how it works, okay? And I show you several techniques for finding those people in a different part of the training, okay? But likewise, anyone who's paying for marketing and advertising at all, again, that is someone that we want, okay? So a lot of the questions that we ask in our discovery form, which I included in the course, are going to help weed out a lot of these people, okay? So if you were to simply look at the questions that I ask on the discovery form, it would tell you kind of some of the things that we're going to go over right now, okay? So a couple of things that I want to hit, and these are not in any particular order, okay? These are just some of the things that I want you to be thinking about, okay? And again, as I mentioned earlier, the newer you are to this, or the fewer clients you have, the less choosy, you're typically going to be, okay? All right, so a couple of things, obviously, that you're going to look for that are probably obvious to you already. You're going to want to look for businesses who have websites, businesses who are not ranking, right? I mean, that's kind of obvious for SEO, but I have to go ahead and throw it out there. If you've got someone that's already got a website and they're not ranking for anything, that is a good potential client for you, okay? So, a common strategy that people will employ, and, this is actually more for the prospecting section, but, looking at, deeper pages in Google to find people who are not ranking, this is a strategy, you can use for doing that, okay? But again, someone who has a website, but, is not ranking for anything. Another thing that you want to look for is, a couple of things that just show that they're not very savvy online, okay? So look for things like people who haven't claimed their, Google My Business or Bing Business, or, their Yelp page, things like that, okay? These are indicators, of things, people who aren't very savvy online, okay? So these are good people for you potentially, okay? Especially if they have a website, and that's, kind of a key. So if they have a website, but they haven't claimed their Google My Business, etc., that's definitely someone, that would be someone, good to target, okay? Another thing, again, some of these are going to blend in with the prospecting section, but someone that you want to look for is someone, who is already spending money on Google AdWords, or on, yellowpages.com, the good old traditional yellow pages. Again, not to beat a dead horse, and we're going to go over specific strategies, but people who are already spending money on marketing and advertising, these are good people that you want to look for, okay? So another couple of things that, really are good that you want to look for is people who have, established businesses. That's good. You don't really want to work with startups, okay? I'm not telling you to completely, avoid startups, but personally I do, because one thing that you'll find is as soon as people understand that you can rank, as soon as people figure that out, then you're going to get a lot of people with lots of business ideas that want you to be their partner, right? They've got this great business idea, and they have the product, and you're going to do the SEO, and you guys are going to get rich together, okay? And I'm not saying that can't happen, all right? But what I'm saying is, especially when you're starting out, you need to avoid those, as much as possible, because you need revenue, all right, when you start off. So those are a couple of the things that you definitely want to look for. A couple of other things that you want to look for is overall you want to look for businesses who have some signs of success, right? again, advertising and is a good way to kind of show that to you. But it can be banner advertising, it can be billboards, it can be, you want people who are already spending money again on advertising, okay? And on this end, I'm telling you this because, you want people who can pay, okay? So, one of the things you need to remember is you need to be looking for businesses who can pay, all right? Look for people and businesses that have budgets, businesses that are high volume, businesses that have high margins, businesses that have a high, cost per product, things like that, right? You really want to be targeting these people, all right? They're going to be much better, for you. One of the things that we ask in the discovery forum is very important. We ask, are you already spending money on marketing and advertising? And, again, that's something that you really want to look at, okay? If this business is not spending money on marketing and advertising, then the whole concept may be new to them, and it's going to be a problem for you, to get them sold a lot of times. Okay. So, a couple of other things, you want to make sure, I can tell you that you can weigh a potential client a whole lot by your interactions with them, the initial ones. Okay. So, the way that the sales process works for me, the way that I suggest for you is that, however the client makes their initial contact with you, I would have a very brief, call with them, a very, very brief conversation with them. And after that, I would basically send them to my discovery form. And, if they fill out my discovery form and then they look like a good potential client, then I'll move forward. But what you don't want to do, the most important thing is you don't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to close prospects that are not qualified, to be your client. Okay. So, I get offers a lot for people that want to pay me to do coaching for them, pretty high ticket dollars, to be honest with you, big dollars. And the one thing that people always want is they always want SEO knowledge, right? They always say, hey, I want to know how to rank. And I do teach that, some of that's in this course. But, for the people that I work with one-on-one, I always ask them what do they want to get out of the training. And one of the things that I always suggest to them, if they choose to ask me, and a lot of times they don't, the most valuable skill I personally believe in SEO is selling, okay? That's the most valuable skill. Then the most valuable, subset of the selling is going to be pre-qualifying and closing, of course. So to me, those things are all related. But out of all of them, the most important is pre-qualifying. Okay, because honestly, if you follow the methods that I teach you in this course, you are going to have prospects. You are going to have leads, okay? It is a fact. You're going to have them, all right? So the next most important thing is that we spend the appropriate amount of time and energy on the people who are actually potentially clients for us, so the pre-qualifying, okay? So, don't be this guy. Let me tell you a couple of guys that I know, all right? There's Mr. spends 8 hours on the phone with, a potential $100 a month client. Okay. Don't be that guy. All right. You may be a nice guy, or you may be, thinking, you may love to talk about SEO, or, you may want to show off, or, you may have all kinds of reasons for that. But you cannot do that, man. You can't spend, hours and hours of time trying to close deals with people who are not people who, can be clients for you. You can't do it. And if it sounds dumb to you, what I'm saying right now, believe me, it happens. It happens a lot. I can't tell you how many SEOs that I know who do a client like I do, who are pretty good at ranking. They don't have problems with that, and they're pretty good at prospecting. They get lots of leads in, but they just do not know how to pre-qualify. And that really is the difference in their business, because, let's say that, you're getting in, 5 to 10 leads a week, okay, which is, pretty reasonable, all right? If you're a one-man show, right? 5 to 10 leads per week. Probably honestly, maybe one of those is a legitimate lead for you. All right. And a lot of it has to do with, how you're prospecting and, that kind of stuff. But, your goal for that week is to find that one and spend whatever time is necessary to close that one. Okay. Because, what most people do is, they're going to spend a whole lot of time and energy just on these ridiculous, leads that are never going anywhere. So anyway, I don't want to beat a dead horse about that, guys, but I want to make sure that you understand, you need to, really, 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 I highly encourage you to spend very little time with them before the discovery form. Okay. If someone is not willing to go to your discovery form and fill it out, then they are not going to be your client. Okay, so let me say that to you again. If someone, a potential client, is not willing to go to your discovery form and fill it out, then they are not going to be your client anyway. Okay, or if they are, they're going to be one of those pain in the ass clients that you don't want. All right, so from the very beginning, you need to start training your client to work within your process. Okay, it's very important because your initial meetings with the client, their initial impression of you and how it goes is going to set the stage for your entire relationship. So as an example, if you have a very brief, talk with them and then point them to the discovery form, and they keep not wanting to do it, they keep wanting to talk and talk and talk and talk, and you allow it to happen, then what you're doing is you're training them to work outside of your process. And if you do end up closing them, that's the guy that's going to call you 5 times a week. Okay, that's the guy that's going to send you 50 emails a day. Every time one of his ranking goes up, or down one spot, he's going to, give you 50 emails. Okay, you do not want that person. You spend a brief time. You go through the discovery form. When the discovery form is done, if they are a potential or if they are a client, and you close the deal, then you will do the onboarding process, which involves the gravity form that I provided for you. Now, this is also part of, this is part of the onboarding, but again, this is part of training your client to work within your process. So we will direct the client to this page, and we will tell them that page will only function when it is filled out completely. Okay. So what you're not going to do is this. You're not going to have them go to your page and give you some of the information and then say, well, I don't have a logo, or I have a logo, but I don't know where it is. So, Sally in accounting has that, so I got to get with her tomorrow. And I don't know where, my WordPress login. That's Bob. That's my web guy. So let me just email you this. No, don't do that. Don't start playing that game with people. Okay. If you start allowing them to, manipulate your process into their process, then not only is your life going to be more difficult with them as a client, but they're actually going to cost you money. Okay. And you have to realize when you do that for a client, you have set that expectation. It's your fault. So if you tell them, hey, I need you to go to this form, I need you to fill it out completely before I can begin your campaign, and then you allow them to not do that, you are allowing them, you're teaching them, you are training them to not work within your process. Okay. And, you may be anxious to get clients in the beginning, and you may be like, I don't care if I have to do 10 emails to get this client or whatever. Okay. But I'm just telling you, overall, you need to get things under control from day one, because if you train them to not work within your process or to not appreciate your work, then that's how they're going to see you for the rest of the relationship. Okay. So, all right, guys, that was a little bit more than I planned on doing for that part. But I hope that you guys get that. Again, this was by no means meant to be, all conclusive. Okay. But make sure, again, that you put a lot of time and energy into, doing your pre-qualification stuff, guys. Okay. Make sure that if you're targeting, areas and targeting markets, that there's value and that there's money to it. Okay. Don't go target some, market where there's no money in it. Okay. And again, you may be laughing if you've done this for a while, but I can name, more than a few SEOs who will not explore a market. They'll not do any demographics or any research. They'll start, pumping out ads or whatever. And then they start getting these leads in, and it's people they can't do any work for. Okay. So, again, be smart with your process. Start with people who are already using, who are already paying for advertising and marketing. Start with them first. Okay. If they have a website, even better. If their website is somewhere on Google but not on page 1, even better. Okay. So if you show me a prospect, if you show me a client who has a website, who's paying for advertising in any medium, okay, any budget, and they are on Google somewhere, below page 1, then that is, usually a decent prospect. Okay. All right. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you got a lot out of this. And I hope, again, that you understand the mindset, what I'm talking about with training your client. Okay. It's very, very important. And I've learned this over doing business for the last 30 years. I've only been doing SEO for a little over 10, but I've been in business for close to 30. I've been an executive in some really big companies, and I've owned several businesses that I sold for 7 figures. So I'm pretty experienced with business, and I can tell you that setting the initial tone with your client is very, very important. Okay, regardless of what business you're in, SEO or not. So anyway, I hope that was valuable to you guys, and I will see you. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and in this very brief video, I want to introduce you to the prospecting section of the course. So this section is going to be a place that a lot of you, once you log into the client portion of the course, you're probably going to want to run right to this section and start trying to get some clients. But I want to give you a word of caution, a word of advice. I highly recommend that you go through all of the training in the client section before you begin any of the training in the client section, with the exception of the individual methods in this particular part of the course. Okay, so I would like you to watch all of the training in the client section except for the prospecting section before you begin the prospecting section. Okay, then go ahead and start with prospecting method number 1, and then when you have completed that task, begin number 2. I mentioned this in the individuals themselves, but what happens a lot of times is instead of fully exploiting and utilizing a particular method when it comes to prospecting, people will tend to kind of look at all of them and like pick the one they like, or the one that's sexy, or the one that they think they can knock off, and kind of start with that. Okay. Again, I've been doing this professionally for a little over 10 years as an SEO, but I've been in business for close to 30 years, or actually right at about 30 years. And that includes lots of high-level selling and things like that. So if you'll please just start with video method number 1 in the prospecting, and finish it completely, or at least get some traction on it before you begin moving on to 2, 3, and beyond. Okay, every one of the methods for prospecting in here is something that I've used personally, something that my students use, and these are all really things that everyone uses in business when they're doing client prospecting. These aren't specific to SEO. Okay, I have tailored a couple of them to SEO to make it more fit what we're doing in this course. But all of the techniques in here are things that are applicable to pretty much any kind of selling. So, again, I wanted this to be short and sweet. So that's it for this section. So good luck with your prospecting. If you follow the techniques that are outlined here, you should have a steady flow of leads coming in. Okay, you should have absolutely a steady flow of leads coming in from a number of different sources. Okay, so thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the next video. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and in this short video we are going to talk about the first prospecting method that I teach for getting new clients. This is the first method that I teach to my one-on-one and my group coaching students, and it is the one that almost always yields success with getting that very first most important client. The first client is very important for a variety of reasons. Number one, because it gives you a little bit of confidence in yourself that you can get a client and that you can rank a site. It also is going to be something that's going to be good to use for proof for getting future clients. So the first one, as they say, is the toughest. And so this method number 1 is something that I have taught before, actually in public training. But I wanted to start with this one because this method is actually very powerful and it's often overlooked. A lot of times people will, simply, they'll hear this method, they'll know this method, but they'll never implement this method. So just like pretty much everything in the client section, a lot of these things you probably will have heard before, but I challenge you, have you actually implemented them? Have you actually tried to use them? Have you actually gone out and applied the techniques? Because I would tell you that if the answer to that is yes, then almost without a doubt you've had some success. Okay, so method number 1 I call MLM, and MLM is short for multi-level marketing. So I live in a fairly affluent suburb of North Dallas called Frisco, Texas, and because of the area that I live in, there are a lot of people who are associated with multi-level marketing companies. It's a very popular way for someone who has a day job to earn extra money on the side, or to try to even grow their second business so they can get out of their first business. But multi-level marketing, in case you're not aware of what that is, it's going to be companies like Mary Kay, companies like Advocare. Okay, those are some of the better ones. But multi-level marketing is where, you're basically selling a product for a company, and you make either some or most of your money by getting other people to sell their products underneath you. Basically, I would sign you up to sell a product underneath me, and then whenever you sell a product, I get a little piece of the money that you make. So the more people that you sign up, the more money that you make. All right? So in general, I would tell you to avoid these because most of them are scams. But the reason why I call this method MLM is because the very first thing that they will teach you in any MLM organization to get your downline, as it's called, the people who would sign up underneath you, is to reach out to family and friends. Okay, and so if you are in one of the better organized MLMs, then they will have all kinds of training on how to do this. But let me make this short and sweet for you. What you're going to want to do is you are going to want to sit down and brainstorm. Okay, and again, you may be thinking to yourself right now, this is not going to work for me, or I've tried this before, or something like that, or this is too basic. Again, I would challenge you to stop thinking like that. Some of the most important breakthroughs that I've had personally and professionally have been things that I had heard before and maybe even attempted to implement at some level, but it took the right person at the right time telling me, and it got me fired up, and I actually did the thing for the first time, and that's when I got the success from it. That's when it worked for me. So I would challenge you, please do this. Please do method 1 before you move on to method 2, 3, however many I have. Okay? Please do this first. There is no reason for you to not be able to get your first client either from a family member or a friend or something like that. So what you're going to do is this. You are going to brainstorm. And what I want you to do is I want you to make 2 lists. If you are a computer person, then just whip out your notepad and start typing. If you are a tactile person or a kinesthetic person, whip out your pencil and your paper. And what I want you to do is I want you to make a couple of list headings, okay? So heading number 1 is going to be family, all right? And under this heading, I want you to write down, I want you to just start to write down everyone that's in your family, okay? Everyone, all right? So your of course your nuclear or your immediate family, but also your extended, your cousins, your uncle so-and-so that you never see anymore, your great uncle on your mom's side, that you see once every other year at the family reunion. I want you to make a list, and if you need help with this, get family members to help you with this, okay? But you need to have a short list. I want you to get a short list together of who they are, what business they're in, if they're employed, and their basic contact information, okay? So I want you to get, basically, I want you to get their name. Make this a little bit smaller. And I don't want it to be underlined. All right. So I want you to get their name, their occupation, and their contact info. Okay? And so, and again, you can do this, you could do this in Excel, whatever's easiest for you, however your brain works. Okay? But you should sit down, and this should take you hours to do. Okay? When I did this myself personally a long time ago, it took me weeks to actually compile this list. Not all at once, of course, but I got my sister, who actually is kind of, I guess, the historian for our family. She's the one that kind of keeps everybody together, and she was really helpful. But if you will list all of these people in your family alone, then you should be able to find someone who has a small business or a medium business that you can promote. Okay? I can't believe that you don't have at least one person in your family. Next thing we're going to move on to is going to be friends. Okay? And for friends, we're going to do the exact same thing as above. Name, occupation, contact info. Everybody, the guy you went to school with, high school with, that you still know, look him up on Facebook, see what he's doing. People that you went to college with. People your spouse is friends with. People you go to church with. People you are, work out with at the gym at CrossFit. People that you go to, martial arts classes with. People that you take piano lessons with. People that, just people that you meet just in your daily life, okay? So these are friends / acquaintances, okay? And I want you to do the same thing, okay? At this point, we're not reaching out to anyone. We're just making a list, okay? So again, now we've gone to family and we've gone to friends, and we've collected the name, occupation, and contact information for each of those, all right? And so, again, please don't disregard this. Please don't just ignore this. If you've done this properly, unless you're some kind of hermit or person, living in a cave, you should have at least 30 or 40 people on this list, okay? 30 or 40 people on the list that you can reach out to. Now, so that's step one for the prospecting is sitting down and brainstorming and coming up with this list, okay? If you don't have at least 20 people on this list, then do it again, all right? You're not thinking hard enough, again, unless you're some kind of hermit, that lives alone and never goes anywhere. And if that's the case, then, get out and meet some people, okay? So, don't think automatically that someone is not a potential client at this point. I want you to just put them down. I want you to put them on the list, okay? All right, once you've got this list, now there's a couple of ways that you can approach them. And so one of the ways is I would do a Facebook post. And I would do it, a public Facebook post. And I will try to have a good one made for you guys so that you can, just kind of copy it and modify it a little bit. But what it would basically sound like is something like this. Hello to my family and friends. In case you were unaware, I have embarked on a new career as a search engine marketer. And I currently am accepting, new clients. In case you're not aware of what a search engine marketer is, I help people's businesses get found on Google. If you would like to get in contact with me, do ABCD. Like, of course, that was just spitballing, so you want to do something better. But what you want to do is you want to make it public, okay? You want to announce to everyone, that this is what you're doing, okay? So do it on Facebook, do it on Twitter, do it on LinkedIn, okay? Do it on Google+, okay? And you don't have to put that you just started, okay? And again, I'll try to come up with a template for you guys to use, something that sounds good. That'll probably be after the, a couple weeks into the course, something like that. But you want to get the word out, because lots of times what happens is, there's people that are your friends and family, that need your service, but they don't know what you do, right? Because you haven't told them. Uncle Bill probably, owns a barber shop, and, he could use some SEO, right? But he didn't even know you did that. So number one, you need to announce it and make sure everyone knows it. Number two, you need to define it in a very easy to understand way, okay? And then you need to do a specific call to action. So, call me at this number, or, send me an email at this address, or, like my page, whatever it is, okay? You need to have a definitive call to action, because I'll tell you what happens when you do this post, all right? because I have seen people do this post, not specifically in search engine marketing, but in other types of marketing. And what happens is, your family and friends, if you're a reasonably likable person, they'll help you, right? So, might be a guy that you're going to end up getting leads from people that your friends know and people that your family members know, okay? People that aren't even within your circle of influence, people who aren't even within your sphere are going to be potential prospects for you just because you've made this announcement, okay? So that's number one. I want you to do a Facebook post, LinkedIn, etc., okay? All right. The next thing that I want you to do, and give that, a weekish. All right. I don't want you to hit everybody up all, at once, but get everybody, a weekish or whatever, and see how that works. All right. And then after that, I want you to devise a plan to get in contact with the people that you made in your lists. Okay. So, a couple of ways that you can do that, obviously, would be email, okay? You can send a nice email that's similar to the information that we put in the Facebook post, and that would be okay. Obviously, if it's family, hopefully you shouldn't have to identify yourself too much. If it's friends or acquaintances, then, you might want to put a little bit more information, okay? You might even want to put a little bit of proof in there, okay? Again, we can probably help you guys come up with something for that email, but it'll probably look kind of close to that Facebook post. Okay, but these are, so again, this is kind of method number one. All right, but I'll tell you, if you will apply this technique, chances are really, really high that you're going to get someone. Okay, you're going to get some potential clients. Now, in the beginning, as far as clients go, and you're going to have to make this decision based on where your business is. It may be worth your while to take on, a client or two, for free, right? Just to have, proof, just to have a referral. And obviously, if I were going to do something like this, it would be a family member, right? So, that's one way to go. Obviously, the preferable way, of course, is to get a real paying client out of this, okay? So, again, the method number one for prospecting, in summary, is you're going to make a list. You're going to brainstorm for family and friends for a list that has their name, occupation, their contact info. Then you're going to do a Facebook post, LinkedIn, all of your social medias, kind of announcing to everyone. And then after a short period, maybe a week to 10 days, you're going to do the same type of post in email. Okay? So that is method number one. And that should get you started off on your way to getting your first of many clients. All right, that's it for video one. Thank you for listening. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and this is the second video in the prospecting section. So this is client prospecting method number 2. So before you start with client prospecting method number 2, I hope that you actually did method number 1 completely. I hope that you actually went through and made your list and reached out to friends and family. So if you have not done that, it's really a good idea to go ahead and hit pause on this video and go back and finish it. So I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, so if you're still listening, it means that you have already done method number 1. So great. All right, hopefully you've already got your first client. So the second method I like to call you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. So in the first method, we reached out to family and friends. And in this method, we are going to stay with people we know, but with a little bit different twist. So you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. This method is going to be, again, where we are going to make a list. But this time, it's going to be a list of all of the businesses, consultants, basically everyone that you are a customer of. Okay? So this time you're going to make a list of everyone that you and your spouse, people that you know, all the people that they are a customer of. Okay, so for example, if you live in the United States, there's some people that if you're a business person, you probably have these relationships. So for example, you probably have a CPA, all right? If you are making money, more than likely you have a CPA to help handle your taxes at the end of the year. By the way, if you're an independent contractor / consultant, be sure you're stashing away a lot of money for taxes. That's one person you don't want to owe is the tax man. So, but again, getting back to our example, so what we're going to do in this is similar to method 1, we're going to do brainstorming, okay? So again, I hope that you don't blow this off. You need to get into a quiet place where you can think and where you've got a couple of hours, okay? So if you have a home office, get out of the house or do it at a time when everyone else is gone. Go to a library, go somewhere quiet where you can spend some time and really brainstorm and think, okay? So again, client method number 2 is going to be you need to answer the question, who am I a client of? Okay, who are you a client of? All right, and the rationale behind that is because 2 things. Number 1, you already have a relationship with them, so you're doing your sell should be more of a warm sell, right? Should be a little bit more personal, a little less cold. But number 2, if you are a client of theirs, then they kind of have to let you pitch them. Okay, so that's really the key to method number 2. The key to method number 2 is really is kind of an irresistible offer, right? If I'm your accountant and you come to me and say, hey, I'm a marketing professional and, I'd love a few minutes to talk with you about, how I can help, get you more leads, get you more clients. If I'm your CPA, I kind of have to let you do that, right? I could maybe try to brush you off and say, well, I've already got someone that handles that or, yada, 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 but I run the risk of losing you, right? And most business people aren't going to want to do that, all right? They're just not. So, again, you kind of almost have an automatic chance to pitch them. That doesn't mean you're going to close them, but you absolutely should have a chance to pitch them, all right? So this is kind of like the irrefusable offer deal, right? They kind of have to let you, all right? So as we're doing the who am I client of, a couple things I'm going to throw out just to kind of get your brain kind of storming. So I mentioned CPA. All right. How about your doctor? Okay, everybody has a doctor, right? While we're talking about doctors, are there any specialists that you go to? Okay, so maybe eye doctors, right? Maybe, I don't know, foot doctor, right? Whatever all the various things are, right? And I'm talking about, really for your family. So, if you're a single person, you may have a little bit fewer things on this list. But if you're someone who has, a family and you've got some kids, then you definitely should, have a pretty good list from this, okay? Because, especially if you've got kids, just doctor alone, right? You've got your doctor for the grown-ups. You've got your doctor, the pediatrician for the kids. You may have, again, you may have an eye doctor. If anyone has any, special conditions, then you may have other specialists, okay? But, doctors obviously need online marketing too, right? And obviously they have enough money to pay you. So it's a good place to start. Dentist, all right? I can tell you from personal experience that dentists are fantastic clients to have, okay? Number 1, I'm not sure where you live, but where I live, there's like practically a doctor on every other corner. Okay, I live in a fairly affluent suburb in north of Dallas in Texas, and I can tell you there are probably 6 dentist offices within maybe 3 or 4 square miles of me, and that's no exaggeration. Okay, so all of them, of course, need online marketing, right? So one thing that you can do with this, a way to kind of expand this. method would be, a dentist. One thing that dentists like to do is they like to, at least in the U.S., they like to advertise in like the little circulars and things like that, where they will give you a quote free first visit, or a really cheap, like, a $20, like first visit or whatever. And of course that gives them the opportunity to get their foot in the door with you, right? But the reason that I'm mentioning that is because, you can still do that, right? So, I'll bet you that there is easily, if I wanted to spend, an hour or so, looking through, I could easily find 20 to 30 dentists within a reasonable distance from me. And I'll bet a good percentage of those, again, have kind of that free, coupon deal or cheap coupon deal. So, they don't know if you've got a regular dentist, and it doesn't really matter, right? Go see 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 dentists, right? Go pay the $20, get the stupid x-rays done or whatever, right? You're paying $20 to have a chance to close a deal, right? So, again, dentists, let's see, hairdressers, right? Okay, if you have somebody cut your hair, right? Now, maybe, it's one of these little local franchise deals, and, they don't need online marketers. They do it in-house. That's fine. There's plenty of, Sally the hairdresser, okay? Again, think outside the box a little bit, guys. Don't, so let's say that you're a cheapskate like me and you go to, Quick Cuts or whatever, right? And you do the $10 haircut. Again, you can do kind of the same thing you did with the dentist. All of these little local hairdresser people, almost always are going to have, things in Groupon and things in the circular ads and the newspaper and little coupons and specials, okay? So again, you could do the same thing, right? You could go ahead and pick, 2 or 3 and, go get your hair cut, Obviously, you won't do it all at the same time, but, maybe, your spouse could do one. Anyway, take the opportunity to meet multiple ones, okay? And so, again, I just wanted to give you a basic idea of, of some of the things. But, again, if you brainstorm and actually put some time and effort into this, you should come up with some professionals, okay? Some ones that you want to really be looking for, some ones that are very lucrative, high-end, the ones I already mentioned, but also insurance agents are very good to work with. Mortgage brokers are really good to work with. Real estate agents are really good to work with. Okay, all of these are typically, are businesses that are, like single owner businesses or sole proprietorships, things like that. And these are all people that, you can market to. So, and again, you can utilize your family and friends on this. Let's say you are a renter and, you live in an apartment or something. Well, you probably know some people that bought their house, right? So they know some real estate agents. Get them to do a warm introduction for you. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. So again, I hope that you guys don't blow this off. All right, these first 2 methods alone, if you do them properly, you should have. I did these personally, and I'll tell you guys, I do SEO for like just about everyone that I buy services from. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I do SEO for like everyone that I buy from. My dentist, I do SEO. I go to a gym, I do their SEO. My kids take various lessons, piano lessons and gymnastics and things, and I do their SEO. Man, don't avoid this, okay? Don't ignore this, right? This is a really good way, to get some clients and get things started, okay? So again, kind of in summary, the best way to do this, just sit down. Again, when you've got a place that you've got some quiet time, some time to think, and just brainstorm, guys. Think of all the people that you buy services from, okay? Again, I could sit here, if I were to do my brainstorming live, I could sit here for more than an hour probably and do this. When I think of everyone that I pay on a regular basis, my auto repair people, another example, again, my insurance agent, real estate, mortgage, all these people, right? All of these various people. My handyman, I have a handyman because I'm not real handy, that does a lot of work for me, stuff like, honeydews, as we call them here in Texas. I'm not a real handy guy. I can build some stuff and whatever, but, so my handyman does a lot of stuff for me, and, guess who does his SEO, right? So anyway, again, kind of like a method number 1, I don't want you to think of these as, like blow off clients, right? These could be, these clients just from this list could be the ones that get you the money that you want to make, okay? It doesn't take a whole lot of professionals, to make a decent living, right? It really just, it doesn't, okay? So anyway, that's it for this video. Method number 2, again, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. And when you're doing this, guys, of course, I'm going to tell you in the intro video, you need to be prepared before you do these pitches, to these people. But, you need to go into there, expecting to get the sale. You really should. All right. So if you're using my methods, you will rank them. Okay. So there's no question that you're going to rank them. So the only question really is if they believe you, if they're convinced that, your work for them will get them clients and get them leads. So anyway, that's all for this video, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and I'd like to welcome you to the third video in the client prospecting section. So this is client prospecting method number 3, which I have affectionately termed Get Out There. So before we move further into the training, there's a couple of things that I want to share with you. There are lots of different ways to get clients without ever having to meet anyone face-to-face. There are other lead generation, pay-per lead, lead gen sites, rent-a-sites, all kinds of other business models where you can not ever meet someone face-to-face and get a sell from them, and they can become your client. That's not what I'm teaching in this course. Okay, so I just want to be clear with that. The client getting that I'm teaching to you most of the time means that you've got to get up off your butt, get in your car, put on a nice looking outfit, go to someone's place of business and do a pitch. Okay, so again, I know that there's many of you watching this who would probably love to never meet a client. In fact, the thought of actually getting out and meeting people and trying to sell your services probably scares the crap out of you. If that's you and you don't think you can get over it, then the client prospecting portion of the course in my course is probably not going to be super helpful to you. I will show you some methods, a couple that don't include that, but by and large, if you're going to have people give you money on a recurring basis for SEO work as clients, you're going to need to meet with them at least one time. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there before we got started. So again, the name of this method is Get Out There, which means that you're going to do a lot of things that I would call traditional marketing. Okay, and I want to remind you, I've mentioned several times in public forums that my business comes from referral, and that is true. But I've been doing this for more than 10 years. Okay, so the methods that I'm teaching you now are the techniques that I used to get me to where I'm at now, and the techniques that my students use to get clients now. Okay, so again, as you'll find out through the course, the recurring theme is I'm teaching you what I actually do, what actually works, not theory and what I hope works. So, all right, so let me go over a couple of these with you again. Some of these, just like the other 2 videos, they're probably things that you thought of before. You might have even done a little bit of investigation, but you probably never actually went and did them. So I want to go ahead and cover them now, and I highly suggest, again, that you take action. Watching videos is not going to help you get clients. Okay, getting up off your butt and taking some action is going to help you get clients. I'm going to do everything that I can to get you there. Okay, I'm going to give you all the best training and advice that I can to help you not only get the clients but service them. But at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have to do the work. All right, so method number 1 in this section is going to be the Chamber of Commerce. All right, this is fairly straightforward. Again, most of you who are watching this are probably familiar with this. And so, you're going to just simply go to Google and type in Chamber of Commerce, and then you're going to be presented, with a list, typically of ones in the area. Okay. Now, one thing I want you to be aware of, again, just like in the other sections, is, think outside the box a little bit. In my area, there's probably, well, it looks like there's probably 7 or 8 Chamber of Commerces, within a reasonable distance from me. Okay, so this is something that you would want to consider joining. Now, with the Chamber of Commerce, of course, a couple of things. Number one, there's going to be an investment. All right, these are not free, or to my knowledge, there aren't any Chamber of Commerce's really real ones that are free. Even tiny little city ones, you're going to have a fee. So, you need to look at your budget and you need to, determine what's going to be best for you, okay? But you need to look here. One of the things that I want to tell you about the Chamber of Commerce, though, is, in addition to, being able to get clients for yourself, you're also going to be able to, have some nice authority links going back to your, My City SEO page, right? Which is one of the things that I teach you to do for your clients. So that's a secondary benefit. You're going to be listed in their membership directory. So, for instance, I have Frisco, which is, the member, the city where I live in. And so, let me show you a couple of things here real quick. So, number one, so you see here where it says get quotes from members, cost-saving options. So, the whole point of a Chamber of Commerce really is so that people who are new to the area can find where to buy stuff, right? So it only makes sense that you want people to be able to find you, right? So, for instance, I'm going to click on this, get quotes, right? So you're going to be able to fill out what you want here, the type of services, right? And so, inevitably, let's look here and see. Sometimes what we do is typically put, maybe put under marketing. Let's see, marketing consultants probably. Okay, there may be an online portion to that. Okay, but anyway, so multiple reasons why you want to be in the Chamber of Commerce, right? So Chamber of Commerce, you get that nice authority link back to your site. You get listed in their business directory, so it's another outlet for people to find you. Being in the Chamber of Commerce gives you a little bit of credibility and trust, right? Because only a quote real business would invest money in joining something like this. Okay, so there's lots of reasons to join this. So I would highly suggest that you do it. If you can only join one, then only join one, but be active in it. Okay, I don't know a single person who's a member of a Chamber of Commerce that's active that doesn't get business from it. Okay, so again, this is a very viable source of leads and business. Okay, and if you're in a small area, you may be the only one. Okay, search engine marketing, online marketing is kind of new, in a lot of ways, and so you may get lucky, and your local Chamber of Commerce may not even have one at all. Okay, so or even if there's a couple, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're going to be better, and you're going to be able to have better presentations and outrank them and stuff like that. Okay, so you're going to go to the site. You'll want to look it up. Let's look at the membership levels and benefits. So as an example, as a business partner here, which is the lowest level, it's going to be $350 or $35 per month. Okay, and so for $35 per month, I can come to this meeting, I can come to all the events, I get myself in the directory, I get all this stuff. Okay, so really honestly, this is kind of a no-brainer. And I'll tell you some other things too. Typically what happens here is, if you've ever bought a home, you'll know that a lot of times right when you move in, you'll get a nice packet from the local Chamber of Commerce. And what will be in that packet? Well, it'll be a whole bunch of, ads and coupons, right? And the Chamber of Commerce that I belong to two actually, but both of them, what they do is they have a packet stuffing basically. So every month you go in and you give them your flyers or your coupon or whatever you want to add, your magnet, right? Your whatever you got, whatever your promotional item is that you want to put in, that'll fit in a bag. And then that gets put out to all the new residents, okay? And so, especially if you're in an affluent area, those new residents could be, home business owners, right? Which is, again, someone that you can help. And if they're not, everybody works somewhere. So, again, I can't express to you enough how important it is, I think, to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. All right, just on multiple levels. It's just such a good idea. So I highly suggest you do it. And if possible, I highly suggest that you join multiple ones. if it is, if it makes sense for you financially and, area wise. And, if you can only be in one, that's fine, but make sure you're active. Okay. Typically when you join, you'll get to go at least the first time that you go, and you'll get a special time as a new member where you'll get to do a pitch, of some length to all the members. Okay. And so take advantage of that. Have a nice presentation ready, be ready. Okay. You can get, 3 or 4 or 5 clients. And what you want is this, what's going to happen is the longer you are a member of this and you do a good job and the word kind of gets around, then eventually you're going to get to the point where you're going to be that guy, okay, at the chamber. So when someone comes in and they say, hey, I need some online marketing for my business. Anybody know anyone? They go, oh yeah, Steve, he's the guy. He's the Google guy, right? Or whatever it is. That's what you want to be, guys. You want to be the Google guy, right? The internet guy, or whatever it is, okay? So, and I'll tell you what you'll find a lot of, and this is coming from my students mostly, not from me, but what you'll find a lot of is that a lot of these chambers don't have any real SEOs, okay? A lot of them will have, web designers that think that they do SEO, and marketing companies that, think that they do SEO, but not real SEOs, all right? So people like you, with the knowledge that you have, you're going to be able to, basically just kick their butts. So if you look into, let's say that you look at this business directory here, okay? Let's say you pull this up, and again, I'm going to do marketing. Let me just show you. So let's say I was considering, whether or not to join this one, okay? And, I put it in, and I look, and let me see if there's any marketing. Marketing and print, sure, marketing group, okay, and okay, oh, wait, here we go, online marketing. All right, let's see what we got. Now, Frisco, again, it's a pretty rich city. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we've got 5. Okay, that's it. All right, there's only 5 businesses in here, and a couple of these aren't even real businesses. Okay, I can already tell you because I know them. So really, there's only 3. No, there's only 1, 2. There's only 2. There's only 2 actual businesses that are represented here. Okay, so if you come in, this is a great thing. But guys, if you see 0 or if you see 50, it doesn't matter. Okay, because again, you are going to stand out. You are going to be exceptional. You're going to be able to deliver, so you have that advantage. Okay, all right. So that was method number 1. I hope you guys are getting value out of this. And again, I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're not just blowing me off here. I hope you're really going to go out and take action on this. All right, I would say that go out and at least research the chambers and make a strategy to go visit and learn more about some. Okay, all right. The second one I have on here is meetup.com. All right, and meetup.com. Some of you, again, this is a U.S. thing, although it may be all over the world. I don't know. But again, my course is targeted to the U.S. Meetup.com is it's an online place to arrange meetups, basically, right? And so what you're going to do, you go in here and you're going to do. I'm not going to sign up for an account and all that, but when you get a free account, what you can do now, I'm going to put in my zip code here. Okay, Frisco, Texas. and then I'm going to look for. I'm going to type in networking. Okay. And let me see what comes up with that. All right, so we have North Texas Business Networking, Frisco Networking, Master Networking, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you see how many there are here, guys? Okay, there's a bunch of them, all right? And all of these, well, a lot of these, I'm sorry, not all these, but a lot of these are places where you are going to be able to meet people and get clients, okay? So these are all networking groups, right? There's 204 members in here. You see the small print. Okay, 59 members in here, all right, 573 members in here, 302, and you see how some of it, now I just did, networking, all right, I could put in here, I could put in, let me do business, all right, and by the way, guys, these are all within 5 miles of Frisco, okay, all right, North Texas, again, the same one, Frisco Business Connections, 337, okay, North Dallas Business Associates, DFW Small Business. Okay, there's just tons of these guys. Okay, you see these? These are tons of places that you can go. All right, or what you can do too. You can go ahead and you can start a meetup group. Right? You could just start one. So let's say you look through here. You're in a small city. You're in an outlying area, and you don't have anything. Then go ahead and just start your own. Right? Call it Small Business Marketing Group or something. Right? for whatever your city is. You know, call it Frisco Small Business Marketing Group or Frisco Online Business Marketing Group or something like that, right? This is a great way to get started, okay? Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but don't blow this off, okay? These meetups, there's tons and tons of them, as you see, and this is a great place, man. This is a great, great, great place. You know, to go out, to do a little bit of networking, to get to know some other professionals. One thing I didn't mention, guys, in the chamber that I want to go ahead and mention now, when you're in any of these groups, you know, like networking groups, you need to buy products and services from people in the group. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you to go spend $1 million, you know, or anything like that. But what I'm telling you is, you know, people are aware of people who participate, and, you know, they're all there for the same purpose, right? They're all there to sell something to you. So if all you do is come and sell, and never buy, then you're going to have a hard time, you know, making friends and, you know, becoming that guy like we talked about, right? So, you know, what I'll typically do, you know, when I start one of these, you know, in one of these groups, you know, I'll find some of the lower end stuff, and, you know, as an example, I almost want to go out with my camera and show you this, but I won't. One thing that you'll find a lot of is people selling stuff like business cards. Okay, so as an example, if you went out to my garage right now, you would find probably 12 different boxes of business cards. Okay, and these were all provided by different providers in different networking groups that I belong to. All right. You know, you can buy a box of business cards for about $30 typically. All right. So for me, did I need another, you know, 200 business cards? No, I don't even use business cards. But what I did was, it was a good faith effort, right, to participate and to join. Okay. So I can't stress that enough. Again, you don't have to spend millions of dollars. All right. But you want to be sure that you participate. You know, people talk, you know, you don't want to, especially when you're new, you don't want to be that guy that just comes in and pitches and never buys. Okay. So look around, and if there's something that's being sold there that's, you know, quality, something that you would buy anyway, even if it costs a little bit more, go ahead and get it in your group. Okay. Don't be afraid, you know, to spend a little bit of money on yourself and on your marketing. Okay. So again, I'm not telling you to spend, you know, $1,000 on business cards that should be $30. Okay. But I'm telling you, if business cards should be $30 and they're charging, you know, $40 for it, go ahead and buy it. Go ahead and get the business card. Spend the $40. Okay. You want to be known as someone who participates. That's how you want to be seen. All right. All right. So meetups, again, I hope that's all been clear to you. All right. All right, so the last method in this section is going to be bni.com, and this may be something that some of you are familiar with. It may have even been something that you tried in the past, but you gave up on. So what this is, it's Business Networking International, okay? And the website is bni.com, okay? And what this is a professionally organized networking group that has a fee. So let me tell you how this works basically. So basically what happens is all over the place there are going to be these BNI groups that someone has organized, okay? And you would join the group. First, typically you would get invited by someone in the group, but you can also just call the organizer. You go there, you join the group, you pay, and then think of it like, like an officially sponsored paid networking group, okay? Think of it like a meetup, but you have to pay to be there. But let me tell you why this is good, all right? The main reason why this is good is because they only allow one business type per BNI chapter, okay? So, let me show you here. So I'm going to go here to find a chapter. And, of course, US. And this won't take too long. All right, BNI USA, okay, and find a chapter. All right, and where is the, you know what I'll do, there should be a Dallas, Texas one. Okay, so Texas is a fairly a big area, so for this one I'm going to choose Texas here. All right, and I'm going to hit find. All right, now, this is for the whole Texas region, okay? So obviously some of these, Dallas is quite a big area, okay? So some of these may not be close to me, some of them may be, okay? But inevitably, some of these are going to be fairly close to me, okay? So you see how many there are? Like, for instance, this one's really close to me. So there's 27 members here. So the great thing about this is, so let me go to the members. Let me just look. All right. Is you see how it has the profession/specialty? Okay. Well, they're only going to allow one, guys. Okay. See, that's what's awesome. They're only going to allow one. So if you do internet marketing, slash search engine marketing, or whatever, then you are it. Okay. There's not going to be anyone else in the group that they allow to sell that service. Okay. So it's kind of like having a captive audience. All right. And so, as I look through here, I don't see one. So it looks like this would be a great one for me to get on board with. Okay. So for obvious reasons, again, we're going to do this for networking. All these people are potential clients of ours. And here's the thing. All right. So here's the thing that gets people with BNI. All right. This is really kind of the, the rub. All right. BNI, it makes you attend meetings. Okay. So unlike pretty much everywhere else that I can think of, when you join a BNI chapter, you are required to be there a certain number of times. Okay. The standard time is, I believe, 3 times per month is what the standard. Now, I'm not in a BNI right now. Again, I'm referral right now, but I was in the past. I believe that it's 3 times per month. So they meet once a week. And I believe, let me look here. Remember supposed to be visitors. Okay, I don't see it here, but anyway, they're going to give you all the rules, all right, that you have to follow. But the thing is, you have to go. So on one end, it's kind of a pain in the butt because you need to be there, or you can send someone in your place, of course. But on the other end, that everyone else is going to be there too. Okay, so that's what's awesome, right? So this is by its very definition, by the bylaws, it's an active group, right? So, this is a more intimate kind of a deal, guys, right? Because again, because they're smaller, right? Like this one had 27 in it, okay? For instance, you're going to really get to know these guys, okay? You're definitely going to be the, quote, internet guy in here, right? I look in here, there's insurance agents, there's personal trainers, there's financial consultants, there's an architect, there's an orthodontist, financial planner, real estate, interior designer, a CPA, computer person, mortgage professionals, okay, a chiropractor. These should all, HVAC, these should all be your clients. Auto repair, these should all be your clients, guys, okay? I hope you get what I'm telling you here. When you join one of these groups, really there's 27 businesses in here. You should have 27 clients, okay? Realistically, really, all of these people should be your client, or at least you should have a really, really good shot at getting them. Okay. So again, BNI, there is a fee for this. And I believe it's a little over $300 a year. And I believe that that's set by the national now. Of course, you'd want to check this for yourself. But again, you're looking at, $20-30 a month, guys. It's nothing. Okay. It's nothing. And don't forget, all these people too, these are people who can refer to you, okay? I'm going to talk about that in a different section, okay? But it's not just that these people could be your clients, but even, their clients could be your clients. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's going to be it for method number 3. So again, in this video, we've talked about Chamber of Commerce, we've talked about meetup.com, we've talked about BNI.com. And again, I want to strongly encourage you to take action. Do not just watch this video and then be like, oh, that was neat, but I've tried some of those things before and it didn't work before, so it won't work now. Stop it, okay? Do the work and you'll get the results, okay? Period. Hard work pays off, period, okay? And so I want you to go out and do these, okay? Matter of fact, you should do all 3 of these, okay? There's really, honestly, guys, in this current environment, the climate that we're in and the area that, where we're at kind of with online marketing, there is no excuse for you to not have a ton of clients. There just isn't. I'm sorry. If you don't have a ton of clients, then you're lazy, or I don't know, there's something wrong with you. I don't know what to say. Okay. But anyway, so again, my final thing here is please act. Don't just watch the videos and then close them and move, roll on to the next video. Okay. Hopefully this is video 3. Hopefully you already have clients from methods 1 and 2. Okay. Hopefully you have multiple clients from methods 1 and 2. All right. But anyway, guys, I want the best for you. I want you to be successful. I want you to go out there and kick butt and take names, and I want our group to be strong. So I hope that again, I hope that you're applying all this. All right. So anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and I'd like to welcome you to video number 4 in the client prospecting section of our course. And again, as I've said in the previous videos, if you have not done methods 1, 2, and 3, please stop this video and go back and do them all, okay? This is meant to be, this information is meant to build upon itself, okay? So if you have not done any of the methods or all of the methods in videos 1, 2, and 3, you should not be here now. All right, so if you haven't done what's in 1, 2, and 3, I'll go ahead and pause for a minute for you to go ahead and hit pause now. Okay, you're still here. So I'm assuming that means that you've already done 1, 2, and 3. Congratulations. You should have a client or 2 or more by now. So this is video number 4 again, and we are calling this, I call this method the perfect prospect. All right, and let me explain to you why I call this method the perfect prospect. One of the biggest hurdles to overcome initially when you are trying to sell SEO to clients is getting the buy-in, okay? One of the most difficult things to do is to convince a business person or persons, especially the one who writes the checks, that there's going to be a good return on investment for investing in online marketing, okay? This is especially true the older the person who makes the decision. So if you have someone who's in their 20s, 30s, who controls the checkbook at the business, you're much more likely to close a deal on online marketing than if the person who holds the checkbook is, and they're older, 50 plus, right? They probably actually still write checks. So the hardest thing to get around typically is getting the buy-in from the person who writes the checks. And the way to get around that, the ideal perfect prospect is someone who is already spending money on online marketing, okay? So we are going to use a couple of tools to do this. I'm not going to beat this method to death, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of sites, and this is definitely a teach you how to fish method instead of a giving you a fish method, okay? I'm going to teach you the rationale behind it, and then you should be able to apply this method probably on hundreds of sites, all right? I'm going to give you a few that I like to use that are more conducive to finding people who are advertising, but really you could find people who are advertising anywhere on the internet, obviously, pretty much. So, all right, so the first site I'm going to use today is called spyfu.com, spyfu.com, all right? And Spyfu is a great site that gives you lots of cool information. And so one of the things that Spyfu will allow you to do, it will allow you to, let's see, it says enter your competitor's website to get started. So I'll go ahead and do that. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and type in CNN.com. All right. So now that I'm in the back area, there's lots of information that's going to show in here, okay? But I did that basically just so I could get on this back end. All right, so you can do it by domains, and this is a good way to see what the competition's doing. But let me show you, I doubt you're going to be going after CNN.com. So let me show you more typically what I'm going to use this for. All right, so up in this main section here, it says enter domain, URL, or keyword, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in, so again, I live in a suburb of Dallas called Frisco, and so I'm going to type in Frisco, let's do dentist, okay? I'm going to type in Frisco dentist, and I'm going to hit search, all right? And what it's going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to look for people who are advertising on that term, all right? And so let's go over here. Let's see. I'm going to go over here to most successful advertisers. All right, that's going to show. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'm going to go to ad history. I apologize. SpyFu changed their dashboard recently, and so it's a little bit harder for me to get around, so I apologize. But all right, so now that I'm here, what is going to show is it's going to show the people who are already bidding on this. Okay, so these are people who are already spending money. So for instance, you see the monthly budget here. All right, let's see. Weekenddentist.net. That's not a local one, I don't think. I think that's a a national that's advertising locally. All right, but Frisco Dossett Dental is spending $3,946 a month on SEO ads. Okay, on pay-per-click. That's where this money's going. DentistFrisco.com is spending $1,891 a month. Okay, and so these are people. RockwallDentist.com. $7,562. Now, obviously, you're going to want to have an account with this. You can also order gigs on Fiverr to get ads like this, okay? But I'm not logged in right now. I don't know how to obscure my screen, so I'm not going to log in because I think I'd have to show you my password and stuff. So anyway, so this is some examples. So, let me do this. Let me do Dallas attorney, okay? Because that's gonna give us a little bit more data. All right, so when I put in Dallas attorneys, okay, so again, so cranelewis.com is spending almost $14,000 a month, okay, in AdWords. London Law DFW 8,000, okay. Cedar Hill attorney 7,000, okay. And then as you go through here, as you see the limits, you see some of these are spending, hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, okay? And these are going to be nationals, obviously, that are advertising in Dallas, all right? But the point of it is this. The point of it is that, you've got Crane Lewis here, all right? And Crane Lewis is, spending $13,000 a month or $14,000 a month in AdWords. So you get past the first hurdle, okay? The first hurdle is, getting him to buy in on investing in online marketing. Okay, so obviously someone at Crane Lewis here is already spending money, writing a check every month. Okay, out for online marketing through AdWords. Okay, so this is a good place to start. All right, so SpyFu is one. And so what you can do, you can go in. Matter of fact, I think you can get a 30-day if you don't want to do the Fiverr deal or pay for monthly. I think you can get a 30-day deal, like trial for free. If you're doing that, then just do it. Run every, query in your city, right? And see what comes up. Make yourself a little hit list, okay? So again, all right, so this is SpyFu. Another one that I like to use is called Espionage, all right? And I'll just type that in here. Espionage.com. Garbage in, garbage out. Gout, ISP. All right, I still can't type. That's a P. All right, Houston, let's do it. All right, so espionage.com. Okay, so again, this is a competitor of SpyFu, and so we're gonna do the same kind of a thing. So here, let's do Dallas. This will be fun. I do a lot of work in this niche. So I typed in Dallas plastic surgery, and so I'm sure some of my clients, yep, there they are. And don't I argue a lot with pay-per-click guys because the ROI on SEO, organic SEO, is just so much higher. But when you get to a certain point where you've maxed out organic, then you definitely want to start doing pay-per-click tests if it makes sense. But anyway, all right, so in here we show Google, and here you see different people, okay, and their monthly budgets on this, all right? And so, like, for instance, here's one, American Lipo Centers, $5,000. Let's see, Lamb Facial Plastics, $10,000, okay? So, anyway, so there's a bunch of things in here that you can look at, okay? So the same kind of a deal, right? You want to look, so this guy here, Lamb, I think that's Dr. Lamb, facialplastics.com, he's spending between $8,000 and $10,000 a month, okay? So again, someone at lambfacialplastics.com is okay with spending money on online marketing, all right? So this would be a good place to look for clients, okay? And so all you're going to want to do is just come through here again, kind of the same way. You know, you can do whatever you want. Let's do Dallas. Let's do real estate. Or maybe I should have done homes for sale. But anyway, let's look at this and see what comes up here. And hopefully it's not going to time out on us. Okay, good. All right. So, again, you've got some big players. Realtor.com obviously is not a local Dallas business, right? Not that you have to stick to local, but again, that's what this is for. So, all right. So, let's see. Meritage Homes, I think they're local. That's $88K. That's huge. Dallas Fort Worth houses, that's $2,000. Okay, so not a whole lot of MLS. So not a whole lot here. Oh yeah, now we're gonna have to pay. So anyway, I think you get the point of this, right? You're gonna go to SpyFu and iSpionage because it's gonna give you the ability to look at a bunch of them really quickly. All right. So let's go to the next one. Okay. So AdWords. All right. So an obvious thing here for AdWords is going to be. Let's just go back to our good buddy Google. And let's type in here. Let me try that again. Let me do new homes for sale in Plano, Texas. All right. So again, everyone in here is an SEO, whether you're new or whether you're experienced, but just in case, the ads, all these are ads and all of these are ads. Okay, so everything on the top bar and the right-hand bar, these are all pay-per-click ads. This is Google AdWords product, okay? So that means that all of the nice folks here, right, have paid money to be in this ad, okay? And so, you can look these up individually to see what they're spending. Again, this is kind of the reverse of using iSpionage or SpyFu, right? You could go here, and you could take, you know that these guys, typically the guys on the top are spending more. Now, people who do a lot of pay-per-click, that really don't know what they're talking about are going to tell you, there's a quality score, and, the top ads aren't necessarily the ones spending the most, but most of the time they are, all right? Most of the time, the people at the top are the ones who are spending a lot of money. So, you could take a few of these and just throw them into SpyFu or iSpionage, okay? So, again, these people are all paying for ads. So, again, these people all are companies who are already paying for online marketing. Okay? All right. Let's see. The next thing up is Bing. All right. So we're going to go over to Bing.com. All right. So we got Bing, and again, there's lots of things that we could look for here. But let's say let's stick with what we've been doing. Let's do, let me do this. Let me do new homes. Let's see. New home builders in Texas. That sounds good. All right, let's find some new home builders in Texas. Okay, so much like the results in Google, you're going to have ads at the top, okay, and some ads on the side, okay, and you see the ads related to, okay. So again, all of these people up here, right? These are people who are paying for advertising, all right? People who are paying for advertising. So, getting the buy-in on them is not going to be anywhere near as hard, especially when you show them the ROI, which I'm going to cover that in another part of the course. I'm going to talk about how to price out these jobs, okay? But as this is just the client getting portion or client prospecting portion, that's why I'm showing these. So again, all of these places here are potential companies, okay, that you could target. All right. So I think the last one is Yahoo, right? Sorry, I lost my thing. Yeah, Yahoo. All right. So let's do Yahoo. All right. So a couple of things on Yahoo. So we've got basic Yahoo here, right? And so we are going to go into I guess it's Yellow Pages. So here, let's see, YP.com. Okay, sorry, yellowpages.com. Okay, so it automatically found my address here. Let's go ahead and close that sucker up. I want to find. Let's stick with what we've been doing. Let's do home. Let's do home builders. No, home builders. Let's do home builders. All right, and the town that I'm actually geographically in is tiny. All right, it's tiny, guys. But anyway, that's fine. This brought up some results here. Okay, and so again, you were looking here. You see the sponsored links. Okay, all these people are paying money. Featured. Okay, all of these people are paying money. Okay. And when you look at some of these, you're going to see enhanced listings, okay? And these enhanced listings are people who are also paying money, okay? And so, you're going to want to go through there, also. So again, you've got your basic, ads. So again, these people are paying money. These people are paying money, okay? So, again, you can make yourself a little hit list with this stuff, okay? There are lots of sites like this that you can do this on, okay? So the key, again, sorry to beat you up with it, but the key, again, to this method is that you're finding people who are already spending money on online marketing, okay? That's something that you want to do. And so that's going to wrap it up for this section of the training, or for this video. And so I hope you are able to go out and get some good leads from this. Find some people who are already paying for some traffic, and I hope you're able to convert them over to your traffic. All right, this is SEO Floyd, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and in this section of the course, we are going to talk about pricing and closing. So this section is going to have several videos in it. Like most sections of the course, there's going to be some seed videos that we're going to launch with, and then we're going to be adding videos, obviously as the course grows and throughout time. But in this section, what I'm going to have initially is going to be a couple of different methods that you can use to price out clients. And so I believe I'm going to show you 3, maybe 4 different methods that I use. I'll start with the most common one. And so hopefully after you've watched the videos, you will be able to successfully figure out how much to charge a client. Okay, that's kind of the goal of that part. Now there's also going to be a kind of a closing section, and that is going to be more of a mindset section. It's going to be more some things you can do to kind of sell your deal, help close your deal. Okay, and so again, like all of the introduction videos in the course, this is brief, but again, like all the rest of the course, this part is not meant to be all encompassing. It's meant to teach you the main things that I think you can implement the most quickly, that will give you fast results, and of course also long results, right? But these are methods that are tried and true. Okay, and there's lots of different ways I'll tell you about pricing. If you ask 10 different SEOs how they price jobs, you very well may get 10 different answers. But what I'll tell you is I have talked with some people who are at some of the top agencies in the United States, some top guys that are kind of like me, who do a lot of stuff themselves, and this is one of the topics that we talk about pretty frequently. So the methods that I'm going to show you are pretty much what people are doing right now. Keep in mind when you're talking about pricing, especially that if you're talking about an agency or a marketing company that also sells SEO, or a web design firm that also sells SEO, you're gonna get the whole gambit of prices. Okay, you're gonna get agencies that want to charge exorbitant rates to local clients with virtually no ROI, right? And then you're gonna have web design companies offering their quote SEO package for $100 or whatever, right? So the market is going to have lots of variance in it. But the methods that I'm showing you and the techniques that I'll show you, the formulas, are what people like you and me do, okay? So again, as I mentioned in the other training, feel free to mark up your prices. Feel free to charge more than what I'm telling you I charge. I charge on the lower end, honestly, in a lot of niches because it's a retention factor for me. My ROI is so obscene for my clients that even if other SEOs or other marketing agencies, come to them and try to take them away, they're not going anywhere. Now, initially that was really, really important to me as my business grew. As my reputation grew and that kind of stuff grew, of course my prices are very high. I don't have any small accounts. I don't have any cheap accounts. But I'm giving you a variance because as you're starting off, you're probably going to have some smaller clients. Okay, you're probably going to have some $500 a month accounts, $300 a month accounts. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so the method works. All the methods that I'm going to show you work. If you find a client that's outside of the box for one of these methods, then that would be something to bring up in the forum. Okay, it's not just me that's going to be in the back end helping you guys. It's a whole community. Okay, and we've got people with a wide range of knowledge and experience. Okay, so anyway, welcome to the pricing / closing section of the course. I hope you get a lot of value out of it, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, this is SEO Floyd, and in this video we are going to talk about how to price your jobs for your SEO clients. This is very important for a variety of reasons. Number one, it's important that we have a logical method for determining what prices to charge for the services that we offer. It's also important for us to not only to be able to get the client, of course, and justify, but to be able to keep the client. Okay, most clients are new to internet marketing and online marketing, and they don't really understand what you do and how you do it. So one of the things that's very important that you do is that you are able to make them clearly understand the value that you're bringing to their organization. All right. Now, in other business models like pay-per-call or pay-per-lead, things like that, the outcome is a lot more direct, and that's how you get paid. But in client SEO, the way that I'm teaching you, typically you're going to be paid a monthly retainer fee basically forever. And so that's an expense that's going to come out for them, just like the electric bill and the phone bill. Is how I think that most people treat it and how I want to be treated as the provider. I'm just another piece of overhead for their business that just comes out. But we want to make sure that we have some logic behind our pricing, okay? All right, now there's a couple of ways to do this. So I want to throw a couple of things out and then I'm going to show a specific method. So one thing that you can do to assess your local market is just to go out and see what other SEOs are charging. So if you are in a market that has some population to it, if you're in a fairly large city, then you can simply make some phone calls and find out what other SEOs are charging. You may have to be a little tricky with this. Ethically, you may want to have, maybe have a relative or a friend call and, just say, hey, I'm a local roofer and I'd like to know how much you charge for your services. So that's going to give you one bit of information on kind of what the market will bear in your area. Okay, so that's one way to go about it. It's just, or you can just simply visit some websites of some local SEO companies or web design companies that offer internet marketing. Some of them will have packages and prices around the website. Okay, so method number one for pricing, which is probably not a bad idea, is to go out and do just a little bit of competitor / market research, okay, and see kind of what things are going for. All right. So the first method, though, that I'm going to show you, and the one that I use most of the time, is going to be based. My prices are going to be based on the cost per click value of the traffic in AdWords. Okay, and so there's a lot of sites that can give this information to you, but the site that I prefer to use is semrush.com. And if you are new to SEO, this may be a new site to you, but if you're not new to SEO, you probably already have an account here. If you don't, They do provide limited information with a free account. Again, you can go to Fiverr and get accounts burned for you for $5. Okay, so you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to do this. I went ahead and logged into a pro account. And so let me show you what we're going to do. And I'm going to do this kind of slowly, and I hope that this makes sense to you. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give you an example, and again, hopefully all this is going to make sense. This is just one of the ways that we're going to do this. All right, so you may have to watch this a couple of times, but I'll try to give you a couple of examples so it'll work for you. All right, so let's say that, let's go ahead and go with something I know has a little bit more data. So I'm going to go with, again, we've been using Dallas and Frisco because that's where I'm at. So I'm going to do, again, let's just go ahead and go with the plastic surgeon, okay? Plastic surgery. Again, I'm very active in that niche here locally, so I know we're going to get a lot of results. So when I type in Dallas plastic surgery as the keyword in SEMrush, it's going to give me lots of information, okay? And some things I want you to be aware of. Now, the default, if you're in the United States, is going to be US Google, okay? And obviously, that's what you want. There are some other versions, though. As a matter of fact, it looks like there's about 25. So if you are in one of these other countries, make sure that you're in the appropriate version, okay? And if you're an international company, then obviously you're going to want to choose each version. So you're going to have kind of a larger report to do, all right? But since we're doing local ranking here again, I'm going to stay with the US, which is the default, all right? And all right, so I've typed in Dallas plastic surgery, and what this is telling me is that the cost per click for this keyword is $8.19, okay? So that means that when people go to Google and they type in Dallas plastic surgery, all right, and let's just go ahead and do that. Let's type in Dallas plastic surgery. All right, there it is. All right, you see these ads up here, Dr. Hackney, Dr. Bogdan. When you see all these, that means that every time someone clicks on this ad right here, this person, so in this case, it's Dr. Hackney. He's a really big a plastic surgeon here in Dallas. He has a really good SEO, by the way. Dr. Hackney is going to pay $7, okay, every time someone clicks on this, all right? And so that's where this $8. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. $8.19. So this number will vary, but on average, when someone types in Dallas plastic surgery and they click on Dr. Hackney's ad here, he's going to pay approximately $8 for that. Okay? All right, so now we have a value for that keyword. All right? That keyword is worth $8.19. All right? So, all right, now let's go down here and we see that Dallas plastic surgery, all right? We're staying with the same term, okay? Dallas plastic surgery has 390 hits per month, all right? Now, the average person who's number one organically for Google is going to get roughly between 45-ish and 50-ish% of the clicks on that page, okay? So for easy math, I'm going to use 50, all right, just for easy math. You may want to estimate down to 40, okay? But when you see the ROI I show you later, it won't make much difference, okay? So if we get him number one for keyword Dallas plastic surgery, he should get approximately half of this 390 hits, all right? So half of 390 is going to be what? It's going to be about 200 hits. Again, math's not my strong suit. So let's just say it's 200, okay? So he's going to get about 200 hits per month, all right? And then 200 hits per month, and these cost $8.19 a piece, all right? And so that means that we take the 200 hits that he gets and multiply it by the $8.19 per month, okay? And so let me go ahead and pull up my handy-dandy cheat sheet here, and let's go ahead and do this out. All right, so the example that I'm using, and I'll go ahead and put this in so you guys can go back to it, is Dallas plastic surgery, and I'm using SEMrush.com, okay? All right, the AdWords Cost per click is $8.19. Okay? The average monthly traffic for the keyword is 390 hits a month. Okay? Okay, so therefore, and number one gets, we'll just say 50% of the traffic. Okay, and this is based on public information. Okay, so again, you can use 40 if you want, and that's fine. All right, so what we're doing is this. We're saying that if we can get him number one for this, that he's going to get approximately half of 390. Okay, and for easy math, we said that was 200, and then we're going to multiply that by $8.19. Okay, and then that is going to tell us that the traffic value of that is going to be in 1 second when my calculator pops up. So $8.19 times 200. All right, $1,638. Okay. All right. So what we're estimating now is that if we went to a plastic surgeon in Dallas and said, we will rank you number one for Dallas plastic surgery, that the approximate value of that per month is $1,638 per month. So if any plastic surgeon in Dallas that had a website and they weren't on Google at all wanted to get that many hits, 200 hits, then it would cost them $1,638. Okay, so that's what the traffic value is worth. All right, so as we're doing this, what we need to do is we need to take the traffic value, and then we need to divide it by what we want our ROI to be, right? So we need to have we need to show an ROI, right? If they could just go buy it for $1,638, then why would they pay us to do it, right? They could just go right to Google, all right? And so let's say that, we charged them, let's do 40%, okay? So if we say we're going to charge them 40%, then I should not have closed my calculator. Bear with me, guys. Math is not my thing. Although statistics is actually my thing, but I do heavily rely on calculators. All right. All right. So $655. So if we wanted to give him an ROI at 40%, okay, if we were going to charge him 40%, and we would charge him $655, okay? So that means that we're charging him 40% of what Google would be charging him. Does that make sense? So he's saving 60%, in other words, all right? Now, obviously $655 a month is not a whole lot of money. Obviously, we want a lot more money than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this formula and we are going to apply it for anywhere from 3 to 5 keywords, okay, is what I will typically do, all right? So by the time we're done with that, then we're going to have a number that's much higher, and we're also going to, have a number which is much more achievable, much more manageable, okay? So this is the basic method for doing this, okay? So I want to make sure that you understand kind of what I'm doing with the math here. Now, one thing that I do want to point out, okay, and this is big, okay, because this is something as far as a conversion element for getting people away from paying for Google ads, okay, and that's something we cover, a client getting method we cover in another section, is finding people who are getting ads, who are paying for ads and converting them into organic. All right, on average, now this is public data also, on average, the cost per click ads on a page only get 15% of the total clicks. Okay, that's all they get. So you see here where I said if he wanted to get 200 hits a month, that it would cost him $1,638. Well, the fact is there's no way that he can do that. Okay, there's no way that he can do that because Again, so the average monthly traffic for this is 390, right? So what that means is that we take 390 and we multiply it times 15%. And what that means is that 58.5 is the total number of leads that AdWords is going to get for the entire month for this. Okay, so let me say this again to make sure this is making sense. This one keyword gets 390 hits per month total. Okay, however, average AdWords total for the whole page only gets 15%. Okay, so what I'm saying is this: if you look at this page, these advertisers here, all of these ads together only get 15%. Okay, so that means all of the people here that are bidding on this keyword, if they were only bidding on this keyword, then all together, going back to our math, they would be splitting a total of 58 leads among them. Okay, that's the maximum. Okay, so two things: it's not just that we're going to provide a better ROI than AdWords, all right? It's that we're going to provide much more traffic than they could ever buy with AdWords. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. All right, I hope that makes sense the way that I've done that. A couple of things that I like about this method, and by the way, again, this is the primary method that I use. Number one, when I price this out, I like to actually bring people to this website. So I'll bring my laptop to the presentation, and I'll actually pull up SEMrush, and I won't log in. I'll use the public account, a free one, okay? And so what this does is this shows people that I'm logged into a public resource that they can also log into, okay? So this shows them, it's a trust factor, guys. This shows them that you're using information that's publicly available, okay? So what a lot of kind of shady SEO companies will do, and even some of the larger SEO companies, is they will, bring their own data in, right? Well, our data says this and that, right? And of course, they're playing with numbers most of the time. There's lots of unscrupulous people in our industry, all right? So I want you to bring them here. And you can actually show them that, hey, look, this is SEMrush is public data. This is not something I can manipulate somehow, okay? I'm just showing you what the data says, okay? And this gets you a good buy-in typically, from your client. This makes it a lot more reliable. It makes your quote a lot more reliable, okay? So, again, for an average client, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick, a handful of these keywords, and I'm going to get those numbers, all right, so I can come up with a good quote. Now, one of the things that you want to make sure, that you're doing, so like in that example, the reality is, it may be hard for me to get number one, right? I may never get number one. This may be some, well, I shouldn't say that. Well, let's just say that you can't get that, or you're not sure if you can get that, but you can get number 2 or 3 or 4, okay? You're going to get some % of this, okay? So what you want to do is, you kind of want to get that monthly egg up to whatever you want it to be, okay, with however many keywords that it takes, all right? So, number 2 gets about 40-ish%. Number 3 gets about 30-ish, 35 to 40%, okay? So if you can get them in the top 3, that's really where you're going to see your return on investment, okay, is in the top 3, all right? And so, again, I hope this made sense. So, let's say that I want to make, $5K a month from this client, okay, from this plastic surgeon client. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I am going to look through these numbers, and I'm going to find them if they exist, okay? Now, that is how I price. Let me show you something that's going to give you also kind of an idea a little bit of how realistic that's going to be. To see, if you're going to find any kind of value in here, okay? So, let's go down here and let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll go to Dr. Rorick's site. All right. And so right now, you see that Dr. Rorick's getting about $28K a month. That's what this number means, $28,000 a month in search engine traffic. So what you can do is you come down here under top keywords, okay? Click View Full Report. And this is going to give you the list. Do you see the percent of traffic? So 5%, 5%. So that means 10% of his traffic is coming from being number one on these keywords, okay? So what you can do is, you can take one of the top people in the market and kind of see where their traffic is coming from, okay, to see how realistic, your predictions are. So his monthly search engine traffic is worth $28,000, okay? These two keywords right here are about 10% of his traffic, which means these two keywords here are worth about $2,800. Okay, does that make sense? So he's getting about $28,000 a month in search engine traffic. Okay, and these two keywords alone, Dallas Plastic Surgery, Dallas Plastic Surgeons, are each worth a little more than 5. So that means this 10% here is worth 10% of this, so about $2,800. Okay, and so I want to show you this because again, initially, you may want to shoot for some of these lower hanging fruits, right? So you find let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 here are a little less than 3% each. So let's say 3 of these are 3% each. This is about 10%. Okay. So if you can rank him number 1 for these 3 terms, right, then these together equal about 10%. Then if you can rank him number 1 for these 3 terms, and these are very low search volumes, then it should be worth, right, about 10%, about $2,800. Okay? So I hope this is making sense to you. So on the one hand, I kind of showed you how to price using pay-per-click. And on the other end, I kind of showed you how to a little bit look at a competitor maybe to see how to find some of those keywords. Okay? So I tell you what, let's do another one. Let's do another one as an example. Okay? Well, actually, let me go over this one more time. All right. So keyword Dallas Plastic Surgery. The cost per click is $8.19. The average traffic is 390. Okay? We're estimating that number 1 gets 50%, which is actually a little bit high typically, okay? But just for easy math, and then so he'll get about 200, roughly half of this 390. So at $8.19 a hit, that's worth about $1,638, okay? So at $1,638, right? If you divide that by 40%, which means you're giving him a 60% savings, then you would charge him $655 a month, okay? So I'm hoping this is making sense. So if you wanted $5K a month, okay, then you would need to go back here and you would need to find some keywords. So we did, Dallas Plastic Surgery, right? So we can go Plastic Surgery Dallas, Dallas Plastic Surgery Institute. Okay, there's a bunch of them here. Okay, so we would want to go through these and look at the cost per click and see what we could do to hit that 5K. Okay, so I hope that's making sense. All right, so again, let's do another one real quick. All right, so let's do here. I'm gonna do one that's got big numbers. Mesothelioma attorney. All right, mesothelioma is one of the highest cost per clicks that exists. Mesothelioma is a form of cancer. It's lung cancer, and you get it by doing certain things. And there's something like, I don't know, there's billions of dollars in settlements that are just waiting. So if you are an attorney and you find someone who qualifies for mesothelioma, then you basically have a whole bunch of money. Let's see here. That's interesting. Maybe I spelled it wrong. All right. Well, all right, good. Well, this put an identifier in front of it, an area identifier. Okay, so that's good. Great. Let's see. Except there's no cost per click value for this. All right. So sorry, guys. This is what happens when you do things live. All right, let me try this again. All right, let me try Dallas mesothelioma attorneys. All right, here's much better. All right, so I think I was spelling it wrong, guys. I apologize. All right, so the keyword is Dallas mesothelioma attorneys. The cost per click is $326. Okay, so it's huge. It's one of the more expensive cost per clicks. Okay, so again, every time someone goes to Google and types in Dallas mesothelioma attorneys right here, every time someone clicks on this or this, right, or these companies get charged $300 and whatever that was dollars, $326.52. Okay, so again, this is on one of the higher ones. All right, so let's do our math again. All right, there's only one here, but hopefully this will still work. Guys, we can do more on this in the forum if we need to, okay? I can do more training on this method if I need to. All right, but keeping with what we did before, all right, the cost per click is $326.52. All right. All right, so in here, the cost per click, actually, I'll just, is $326.52. The average monthly traffic was 170, okay? All right, so again, number one gets about 50%, okay? So 170 divided in half is 85, okay? So we're going to put 85 here. All right, and then we're going to multiply it by 326.52. Okay, and 326.52 times 85 equals $27,754. Okay. All right. So that means that if you were to get a client number one for mesothelioma attorney for Dallas, or what was it? Number one for Dallas mesothelioma attorneys, that traffic would be worth $27,754 a month. Okay. So again, let's take $27,754. And let's say that you only wanted to charge them 30%, okay? All right, then at 30%, your amount would be $83.26. All right, sorry guys. All right, so again, if the value of a number one is approximately 50%, so the total is worth $27,754. If you charge them 30%, you could charge them $8,326 a month, okay? And they'd be saving 70% over what they would be paying Google, okay? So this is a nice 8K account, all right? So I hope that that makes sense to you guys. Obviously, you know, when you're doing this with, locals, you're going to get lots of smaller numbers. Sometimes you are going to find numbers that are really, really small, that don't really justify using this method. And when that is the case, I'm going to cover that in another training video, okay? So again, to clarify, step one would be to come to SEMrush, step one, again, could be the competitor research, where you're going to make some phone calls and ask around to see what other people are charging. You might even want to try some national companies like SEO.com and call them and, pose as a potential client and see what they're charging, okay? So that's number one. Number two would be go to semrush.com, okay? Type in your keywords, find out the cost per click value, find out the volume, then estimate the number of hits you could get for that volume, multiply it by the cost per click price, that gives you the value monthly, and then you will charge some percentage of that. So, you know, obviously the larger percentage that you charge of the cost per click, the more money you make. But I typically keep mine at about 2 to 3 times the ROI, okay? Because in that number, people don't shop you. So let me give you an example. Let's say that the cost per click, the monthly value is $15K, okay? Let's say it's $15K a month. I will typically charge about $6,000 for that, okay? So, you know, slightly more than a third, okay? Because what happens is when you're charging those kind of numbers, when they know that they should be paying 15 and they're paying 6, then when other marketing companies call along and Yelp and Yahoo Local and all these other Yahoos come along and try to steal them away from you, they're not even talking to them typically, okay? So it's as much a retention thing as it is a money thing. So I make a little bit less off of each client, but I don't lose them ever. So that's worth it to me, because most of my work, as I've mentioned in other videos, is upfront. Most of the vast majority of the work that I do for my clients is in the onboarding and in the first month or 2 of their campaign. After that, there's very little work. So I try to do everything I can to keep them. So again, I hope that this has been clear for you. And if not, please feel free to shoot your questions into the forum. And again, this is SEO Floyd, and I hope you got some value from the training. Thank you.